so each one of them, and that way we just close the morning session and go for lunch.
¿Va? Diego?
Yeah? Okay, can I get started? Okay.
Vale, perdón.
Good.
¿Dónde está? ¿Dónde hay que tirar?
Where do I have to point? So that's works.
¿Va? O no enfoco donde tengo que enfocar.
I don't know if I'm not pointing to the right place or...
Perdón. Pues buenas tardes. ¿Saben cuántas horas tiene de sol Santa Cruz?
Good afternoon. Do you know how many hours of sunlight we have in Santa Cruz? How many people have suffered from skin cancer? How many people with heart problems? How many children are suffering with obesity? Well, too many. For all of these reasons, we are here to try and find the perfect city in which 2/3 of the island's population will live. In our bodies, our lungs and our hearts bring oxygenated, clean blood to the rest of our bodies. In the same way, we want nature to insert itself into the cities and bring good health. For that reason, the government of Santa Cruz has created its strategic plan for a green strategy to make the city more healthy, attractive and resilient against climate change, cohesive, equitable and competitive. It's divided into 3 stages. The first was research, the second was a participatory process, and the third was developing the proposal. Okay, it seems to be working now. Well, in the first stage, we looked at the green system that exists, the ecosystems here, the canopy cover. We looked at a whole series of studies to see where we are, look at the communication networks, etc., etc. Looking at the biodiversity that exists. Thankfully, we have a high level of biodiversity. We looked at ecosystem services and learned a great lot about our strengths, weaknesses, opportunities and threats. At the same time, in parallel, there was a participatory process led by Santa Cruz through a website. We organized workshops with the City Council staff, and we managed to include young people, teenagers, elderly people. We did it through Minecraft, this game. We went out to the schools and asked them for their opinion on what they wanted for their city. So that was how we captured young people. In these municipal events that we have, like right now, this weekend is the Santa Cruz Festival, we have music festivals, and at these events we ran workshops so that young people could attend with their parents, and gradually we got our name out there, yeah, so people knew who we were and they knew that we wanted to hear from them. The plan is built around 10 key objectives broken down into 120 specific actions spread out over the next 10 years with their allocated budgets. The first goal, strengthen the green infrastructure and optimize ecosystem services. So we looked at all of the heat islands in the city, a lot of them in schools. We're seeing, unfortunately, that trees are being taken away when actually it's very well researched now that trees improve education. But anyway, number 2, optimize the functionality of ecosystems, ensure connectivity of ecology, favoring biodiversity, making sure there are biodiversity channels, these shaded areas. 3, restore habitats, ecosystems, and degraded spaces to promote biodiversity. This is all in line with Santa Cruz 2030 agenda to decontaminate the city. And well, we're not talking just about the refinery. There are lots of degraded spaces here which need to be addressed in this way. Yep. There is the project for the ravines that Alfonso already mentioned. Goal 4, conserve and improve the green urban infrastructure and biodiversity. Of course, improve the tree cover and the underwater element of our trees. Yeah, our trees need to be able to breathe and nourish themselves. So it's looking after this ground as well. We want to promote composting. I don't know if you know that all of the waste from pruning the plants in the city go to compost, and then they're put back into the gardens as compost. Renaturing the squares, car parks. It's just because there's a car park doesn't mean we can't have trees in it. We need to make sure that trees are built into the car park plans. We need to create biodiversity islands. We've said that we have a high level of biodiversity here, but we have to conserve it and improve it. Number 5, develop a resilient urban forest that's healthy and functional, especially in the face of climate change. We need to build artificial soil. Trees need particular types of soil, so we need to move to technology to ensure they have what they need: oxygenation systems, watering the soils. Look and analyze at the species that are adapting well to climate change. For instance, we've seen that there are some types of trees that really can't be planted anymore in Santa Cruz because they're not surviving these changes in the climate. 6, improve comfort, health, and well-being of citizens. So this is about making the Ramblas totally pedestrianized. This would be wonderful if we're able to do this one day, make this boulevard only for pedestrians, and the trees would do much better because they wouldn't have to cope with all of the pollution of the cars that are driving up and down it all of the time. Therapy gardens, connectors, so that children are able to walk to school to combat this obesity, right? But this has to be done under tree cover. We have a lot of hours of sunlight here every year, and it's very hard to park here because of the slopes and because of the sun. We can't do much about the slopes, but we can help with the problem with sun. Balance in a fair and equitable way the distribution of ecosystemic advantages in the green infrastructure in the city. Okay, so some areas are very lacking in greenery. So we want to try and ensure that there is more fairness, in distributing these green spaces. 8, promote participation, outreach, and awareness raising of citizens in the design and management of green infrastructure and biodiversity in the city. It seems that in the past there was a lot of emphasis on greenery, But today, we are failing to sell this idea of green infrastructure. People aren't asking for it as they did perhaps in the past. So we need to make sure that our citizens are trained and aware of what to expect and what they should expect. Strengthen the governance model. We've talked about this a lot all morning. Yep. This needs to be part of the general plans of the island and of the municipality. And then 10 is about monitoring. Yep. Develop a methodology that is very objective to analyze the success and the evolution of this plan, this structural plan of green infrastructure. We're sure it's going to be a success. So, Santa